Of course, as many people know, the first supposed UFO crash in Roswell, New Mexico, with the Roswell Daily Record, the supposed flying saucer. And you're going to see Freemasonry is written all over these fabrications with General Ramey. Of course, the occult of the Ram and Freemasonry. They love the horned deities when it comes to rams, goats, cattle, and so forth. Just take a look here. As I showed many times, the highest degree in the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry is 33. It all has to do with the third, or 33%, of the fallen angels. And this is their basic code, not only for hoaxes, but for ritual, such as 9/11 when the towers came down after 33 years. With construction starting in 1968, and of course the towers coming down in 2001, 33 years. Now, take a look at the location of the supposed UFO crash, Roswell, New Mexico. Out of all the locations in the world, it just so happens to crash on the 33rd parallel. After I get done with this presentation, it's going to be obvious once again who's behind the whole entire alien deception. Take a look here as well. With Roswell, of course, lining up with Baghdad, going back to ancient Babylon. This is the bloodline. This basically started in Babylon. They worked their way to Egypt, to Greece, to Rome, to London, to the U.S. with all their signs and symbols, such as the pyramid on the back of the U.S. dollar, the obelisk in the Vatican, London City, and, of course, the so-called Washington Monument, which is nothing more than an obelisk. Now, let's move along here. And another infamous UFO sighting in Phoenix, Arizona. Of course, the Phoenix all has to do with Freemasonry, the rise of the Phoenix or the Antichrist, and of course, being on the 33rd parallel as well. Again, the so-called Phoenix Lights. Just take a look at this symbol. What do you have here? It's nothing more than a Masonic square. That's all it is. They put their signs and symbols and everything, not just the numbers, but the symbols. And I've mentioned this before in a previous video. Imagine if you're a so-called alien aboard this spaceship and you're on this side. You want to get to the other side, you got to walk all the way around. It's completely ridiculous. It's a complete joke. It's just, again, about their signs and symbols. Just fabrications by the so-called elite that run this world. Again, showing you that they're behind it for those that have eyes to see. Okay, now let's move along here. Something I want to cover I haven't touched upon before with this movie that was released in 1993. I actually saw this movie in Santa Cruz, California. A day before it was released to the public, they had a special screening with KICU Channel 36 in the San Francisco Bay Area. They had a camera crew there. They were taking questions from the audience. Who believes in UFOs and who doesn't? And other questions on that line. Now, this, of course, is supposedly based on a true story. I've mentioned this many times in the past. All these so-called movies based on true stories, they're fabrications. From Alcatraz to the 33 Miners to Natalie Holloway to the O.J. Simpson TV movie. It goes on and on. They're all fabrications. This is to reinforce lies. And for those who follow my channel, I mentioned it many times. Movies are nothing more than social programming. It's not about entertainment. It's about getting into your subconscious. This is how they control the matrix. From the school textbooks to the churches that only give you half-truths into movies. Again, nothing more than propaganda. Let's take a look at the scene here. I'm going to connect it all. It's all going to make sense. Let's take a look at the scene here from Fire in the Sky with D.B. Sweeney being abducted by these so-called aliens. Aliens are nothing more than demons in disguise that have always been here. Pretty creepy scene, more or less. If you watch the movie, it's more or less more like demon possession. And why was D.B. Sweeney selected for this role? Sweeney being 33 numerology. Perfect match, perfect fit. For those that follow my channel, they'll know about the occult of 33. And these people being propped up, not only in Hollywood, but the music industry, in politics, based on the number 33 coded into names. It's not just, say, a last name. It could be a first and last name. It could be a first name or a combined name, as long as you get the 33. Now, something I found pretty interesting regarding Fire in the Sky, if you look at this widescreen collection for the DVD format, take a look here at the front and back combined. What do you see here in plain sight? This is how they love to mock with the truth in plain sight. That is the flat earth with the dome above it, with the blue sky within the firmament. That's God's firmament, just like shown here in the Bible. For those that follow my channel, I always explain how the churches don't give you the full truth. The biblical truth explains that we live on a flat plane with a firmament, or also known as a dome, of course. Take a look here with the sun and the moon within, as the Bible states. The sun and the moon are not outside of the firmament, they're within. Everything is the opposite. When science says the sun is 93 million miles away, this is about Freemasonry. Everything's in opposites. You know it's much closer, and of course, much smaller than we're told as well. And just for reference, just take a look at the sun. An actual photo. You really believe the sun is 93 million miles away? No way. Just like you see the moon during the day. How is it possible we get the sun and moon at the same time during the day? What does the other side of the ball earth get as far as a light? And if the moon is truly 238,000 miles away, how can we see it during the daytime? Makes no sense. Science doesn't make sense. Nothing more than smoke and mirrors. Just taking a look at the flat earth model, the true world we live on. It's a circle within a square with the ice ring or the ice wall around, which holds the oceans in. They're talking about how the sun and the moon work like a clock going above the flat earth. That's why the sun basically rises in the east for everyone and sets in the west. It just circles above again like a clock. It would not make any sense how this would be possible if the sun was 93 million miles away. And again, how the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. Okay, let's move along here and get back on topic. Again, with fire in the sky, as I shown earlier, with the flat earth dome symbolism. The same exact concept as I pointed out before with this 1983 TV series called V for Visitors. These aliens coming from a distant planet invading Earth. Again, subconscious programming, but again, the same entire concept of showing the flat earth model with the firmament or the dome. Same exact thing here with Supreme Leader Diana. And what do you see here? A close-up look of, again, the flat earth model with the sun and the moon within. And this is complete mockery. Giving you little Easter eggs for those that have good discernment that can spot these things. They put them in there as a form of mockery. Now, getting back again to fire in the sky, I found this pretty interesting. Taking a look again when we're talking about the 33, where the supposed alien abduction took place. The White Mountains, northeast Arizona. Let's take a look at this location. White Mountains Range. Again, in Arizona. Just so happens to be on the 33rd parallel. So you see how this all connects. Not by chance, not by coincidence. And again, talking about D.B. Sweeney starring in this role of the supposed true story. The occult of 33, always in plain sight. Like I mentioned before, with these so-called aliens and D.B. Sweeney being 33. Now, let's move along here. When it comes to, again, the alien deception, many people in the UFO community know about Robert Lazar. He claims to be an employee at Area 51, a scientist. And, of course, everybody that you see propped up on radio shows, TV shows, they're going to be part of the Matrix. Even the so-called alternative media, such as Coast to Coast AM, don't buy it for a second. They're part of the rigged reality. And what do you see, of course? The Masonic hand signs. Just basically telling those that are in the know, that are Masons, that he's part of the deception, as you see here, with this 1995 Illuminati card game. That's all he is, a deep agent. Okay, let's take a look at the name Robert Lazar, with the first name, of course, being Robert, being 33. The full name, Robert Lazar, being a duality 55. And Area 51 being duality with a 22. Now, one thing I found interesting, with Robert Lazar being 55 and Area 51 being 22. Let's take a look here. Shown this before in a previous video. With the number 55 in the mirror reflection which is all about masonry. When you flip the 55 over, you get your number 22. So this is how it all connects. And of course, again, the signs and symbols, as you see here with the pyramid, just like the Masons control every aspect of the matrix, just like the Reebok logo, it's nothing more than basically a top view of a pyramid. Also here as well with Area 51, the all-seeing eye of Lucifer, as you can see here as well. So again, they're all about signs, symbols, and numbers. Without a shadow of a doubt, those behind the scenes, pulling the strings behind the entire alien agenda psyop, which is nothing more than a fabrication going way back in time.
Everything's a lie and that's a fact. Life is a